Good morning. Morning. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to see who we can get to log in here.
Well, good morning, Kim. We got to do graduation yesterday.
Oh, I have mine Tuesday.
Yep.
But it's a one-off, you know, it's just you cross the black box theater and
Yeah. We actually did the superintendent said it was the only graduation that was actually on its date. It was not normal, but they all got to walk, and it was really cool. And they broadcasted it live stream, so my kids watched it from the living room.
oh,
So it was cool, but
that's good.
it was different. We all had masks.
Yeah. I was ironing a graduation gown last night for my daughter.
Yep.
Good morning.
I just sent you
Morning.
emails. Oh.
All right. Look at this. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. I know I sent you all just kind of a last minute text asking you to join me here. So I appreciate you all. All right. Whew. Let me get a drink of water. I'm not sure if we have guests here or not, because sometimes we do. So, which is fine. But today I'm gonna take this call a little bit differently than what we have before. Normally at our 9 a.m. call, we're here to talk about us and our business. And so I was just on a regional call of leaders, and some of you, I am your team leader. I am also part of the International Associate Leadership Council. So every region designates 3 people in their region, which, by the way, we have 30 some offices in our region, over 4,000 agents, I think close to 5,000 agents in our region. So I looked up some words, like, what does leadership mean? Leadership means clarity, courage, boldness, humility, and passion. And so over the evening, you should have all received Gary Keller's letter to us. And so we now are experiencing, this is now the second thing that we're experiencing in the last 12 weeks that is weighing very heavily on all of us. And so I don't know if you took the time to read the words and absorb the words, but if you're like me, your mornings are usually very rapid and you possibly read an email and skim. So I am going to actually read this email to you, and then I'm going to share some thoughts. So, dear Keller Williams family, I'd like to make one thing clear. Racism is wrong, and Keller Williams stands with the Black community and wholeheartedly supports equality. Right now, communities across America are experiencing tremendous pain. The pain builds and grows exponentially with each name. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, Michael Brown, and too many more. Each person had a story, a family, a home,
they're talking about
a life that mattered that was taken away from them.
Keller Williams.
To our Black Keller Williams associates and clients, we are with you. You matter. Your family, friends, and community matter. Your lives matter. You are in our hearts and in our prayers. The truth is that racial injustice and inequality persists. And in order to help change that, it's critical to not only say something about it, but to do something about it. I believe that the real estate community has a unique opportunity to promote healing and reform. The first step is reflection and thoughtful self-examination. Then we listen, we learn, we speak up. That's how change happens. We know many of you are past this stage, and from you, we need your leadership. Effective immediately, we are creating a task force of our International Associate Leadership Council to come forward with recommendations for action to eliminate any racial disparity within our company, our industry, and how we can lead the way in the communities where we live and work. And as I mentioned, I am part of the International Associate Leadership Council. I will be reaching out to your regions immediately to ask for a nomination from each to join us in this critical effort. I'm proud of the company we've built together, but I know in my heart that we can do more. I believe we can also set an example within the industry by committing more of ourselves to a better and equitable future. We can all do something. Lead a conversation in your market center and commit as a family to create change. Reach out to your local real estate board and make sure that racial equality is reflected in their positions. Ask if they support initiatives and measures crucial to racial and social justice, then get involved in those you believe in. Now is also the time to check in on each other, speak our truths, and listen with an empathetic ear. While we may not be able to come together in person, we can make a difference. Call, video chat, text, and support each other during the unbelievable challenging time that we are in. Take heart and take care of each other while pain and hate brought us to this moment. Love will help us find our way out. The fact of the matter is, we have active military, police, and firefighters in our local family, and all we can do is ask questions. We can be empathetic, and we can stop talking and get into action. I may not say all the right things. I was really thinking about this morning, and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do as your team leader. And I thought, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to read what Gary Keller said because it was put so, I thought, perfectly. There's a difference between having a conversation versus making a post. Does that make sense? And so I challenge you to have conversations. I challenge you to have gratitude, compassion, to love outside your world and our safe bubble that some of us are in. I challenge you to talk about this and to think creatively about how to take safe action. And so that was the message that I wanted to share with you today. I didn't want to, I guess, not say anything. It's very easy. It would have been much easier not to have this phone call with you and not stand up as your leader. But I won't do that. So without, I guess, taking this down a political road, I want to be here for you and open up this call for any thoughts or concerns, because it's my job to ask questions and to show care, kindness, and compassion for you. Does anybody have anything to share?
Just love to hear ideas of what we can put into action right away. I'm clueless.
And I understand that. And Judy, I fought long and hard about that. I'm going to have a really hard time not crying. I've already reached out to some of my Black clients who I love dearly. One of them, her daughter still calls Gary Papa Gary because he helped them find a home that was safe for them coming out of an abusive relationship. She posted this morning that she can't even get out of bed and go to work and take care of her daughter. Tired, told her we love her. Whatever we can do to help. And she said, I don't know what you can do other than be the best person that you can be. And you guys are already that. So I did put out a call to Debbie Buchanan because this has been weighing heavy on me as well, obviously. Debbie Buchanan is the executive director of the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative, and she is Black. She texted that, she got my message. I asked her, what can we do to help you? Are there things that you need us to get? Are there items we need to collect? Do you need donations? What can we do to help you? Because the majority of the vets that are homeless that they help are Black. How can we help you get them off the streets? What do you need? She said that she texted back and said, I got your message. I love you and I thank you. Let me think about that. There may be other community advocates or groups that need more help than we do, and I'm going to check into that for you. It was the only thing I could think of because we need to do something. So, whatever she comes back with, I'm going to jump in. I can let you guys know if anybody wants to help because it is hard. What else can we do? We feel like, I feel so helpless. And so I'm hoping that, she can come up with something that we can do to help our community, to help them. Yeah, this sucks. It's really hard.
And we don't have to be alone, do this by ourselves. I wrote this down from my regional call that I was on this morning. What is one thing you can do to give the gratitude, compassion, and love outside of your world? So I will be looking to you guys because I'm one person and we are a group of 160. So we can do something much greater than what one person can do, but I don't know what that is. And that was by far the biggest challenge of the phone call I had this morning with all of the other team leaders and some OPs in our region. But we cannot stay silent.
I found a really good article about this, like 75 things that we could do. And you look at it from a standpoint of just like not trying to boil the ocean, but just doing something like small, something local, something, something. So I thought these were some really, really good ideas, just, 75 things, and, just choose one, start small, see what can happen. And so that might help, just be, to be able to do something. But definitely with Kim being on the International Leadership Council, like, she is a voice and an advocate for the company that you work for. So if there's anything that you want to be done, like, she is that direct medium to make a change. And if you're able to volunteer, or you're able to look at what local committees and what local things you can be on, it really starts with, sharing that and just not being silent.
I guess I would just add, thank you for that, Scott. I missed the first part of the meeting. Good morning, everyone. I would say, see something, say something. People are scared to call bullshit out. People are hurting. I don't justify things, but I understand where this is stemming from. If you see something that's wrong, say it. I've seen more things in the last couple of years being an agent that I thought were unacceptable. When someone, outside of someone who's different than you says something, just listen. You don't have to agree. Maybe you didn't experience it, but why would they be making that up, right? See something, say something. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to join a group, but if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I felt this way, or I saw this, or someone said this to me, let them talk. Just let them talk.
I like that, Julie, that's thinking like a leader and getting out of our comfort zone, because we are real estate agents and we are problem solvers. Some of us naturally, that's the safe road that we go down, is solve the problem, solve the problem, solve the problem, move on to the next thing. When this is a situation and when you run into something that you feel like you need to say something, it's about coming from curiosity and asking questions, and not right away trying to solve and come from judgment.
I was at an open house in Mequon going into my own purse to get a pen, and a woman wondered why I was going into someone else's purse stealing something. I had a name tag on. She didn't question Julia Kellogg. She questioned me. I had another person ask if the neighborhood was safe because she saw Black people. I had another agent from our office say his client was fine with the neighborhood because he's Black, so he's fine with the neighborhood. I've been really silent on Facebook because I need to get my thoughts together, and I appreciate that the team is making this effort. Let's face it, we farm areas. How many of your areas have people that don't look like you? It's not a slam, it is what it is. But maybe it doesn't have to be. Maybe it just doesn't have to be. If I say too much, I come off as an angry Black person, and that's not what I want to be. I can support Black Lives Matter, and I can support the police officers. There's no way in heck I would want to be a police officer. You're reacting, right? You're reacting. People are angry. People are hot. I'm reaching out to my friends who are police officers, and they're blown away. They said, thank you so much for supporting us too. Of course I do. Of course I do. If I have ideas, I'll follow up, as to ways and maybe places. And the final thing I'll say, and some of you know this, housing is a big topic when we talk about race, or even when we don't talk about race. As much as I can't stand the house I live in, I kind of like it. I kind of like it because before we moved in here, do you know what was on our deed? Do you know what was on our deed? This house could not be sold to a colored person. They had to change the deed. 2005, y'all. 2005. So there we are. So we just have, like you said, we have to get out of our comfort zone. And that can include me as well, And I don't speak on behalf of all Black people. I don't. I just speak on beside of me. And right now I'm sheltering more in place from this mess than the virus. I've got 2 boys, 16 and 17. I'm petrified. I'm petrified to have them go outside. They're driving. I'm so afraid. We all get triggered for different things and different reasons. And we need to look at that. So that's all I have. But thank you for doing this, and thank you for listening. I appreciate this.
I think what was really hard for me yesterday is that we've have the television off because we didn't want to hear all the bad news from all the coronavirus. And so I had set up an appointment in Kenosha and sent a text to my client saying, let's go tomorrow. And he said, we can't, we're under lockdown. And I was like, what? I mean, I literally was in Waterford, which is not very, and had no idea that, I knew there were things in Chicago and Milwaukee, but I had no idea that there were things in Kenosha and Racine, and that it was as bad as it was, because we've tried to shelter ourselves from all the bad news so that we can keep going. And it was just very kind of shocking that, what we're doing to protect ourselves is in fact ignoring, or, we're not aware of what's going on. And then when you do go to the news or social media, how do you know what's true? Because so much of what I thought was actually true, when you go and verify it, it wasn't true. And so you're just confused and you don't, I mean, it's very hard to know what to do, but if you don't even know what's true and what places are safe and what places aren't safe, you know, and I had teenage boys celebrating graduation, and I'm like, do not get in the car and go anywhere, because I have no idea what those kids would run into. So I was as freaked out last night as you were, for totally different reasons, but you know, I think everybody's freaked out and at a loss and trying to figure out what to do next. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Delisa.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to chime in. Thank you, Kim, for starting this conversation for us. I think one of the simplest things that we can do that may sound small, but is tremendously will impact the lives of the individuals around you, is just to have a conversation. Just as I'm blanking on the individual who just spoke, I apologize, but as she spoke, she stated that there is a filter to what is happening. It is so easy for individuals to live in their bubble of life and not have any understanding of what is truly taking place in the world. And so when you do see what's happening, when you do have an encounter, addressing that, not only with the individual, but bringing it back home and having that conversation. So the teenage boys that you have, the young children that you have, the husband, those people have influences with others. The more that we have the conversation, the more that we can see change. We can't ignore it because it does happen every day. And unfortunately, we're seeing it filmed and advertised now, but it has happened for years. So I would say have a conversation. Don't be afraid to, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Kim, you talked about understanding. You won't understand until you ask and talk to people. Yes, I do think that funding and housing and all that is necessary, but it's not just an opportunity to throw money at something. But this is truly a way to get involved and to understand a different lifestyle than yours.
Thank you, Keisha.
Yeah, something that was super powerful that I saw was that sheriff in Michigan, and he just went there and like put down his baton and just said, "What do you want from us? We're here to support." And you know, he just asked probably 3 or 4 times, like to that point, asked questions, and they just said, "We want you to march with us." And he's like, "Okay, let's march." So he may have never thought that that would have been what was most important, but definitely just asked, and they, you know, that to me is what should be on the news, like more stuff like that.
We were our neighborhood organized a little peaceful protest. It's not the most diverse neighborhood. It's kind of set back from, you know, we're in Wauwatosa, so it's not like we're in the thick of things. So the neighbor across the street thought it'd be nice, you know, people come together, show our support. So we all stood out it was supposed to be an hour with our signs on our street. It's not a super busy street, so we ended up going down to a busier corner, 68th and Wells, and like the coffee shop there. It was very busy, and it was nice because like most people are very supportive. A couple people came and like talked to some of the people holding signs, which I thought was nice, having some conversations. And then the lady across the street, her sign says "Stop Racist Police." And then a police officer drove by, and we were kind of like, what's going to be the reaction? But same, you know, it's just like Scott was saying, it's like he rolled on the window, he gave us a peace sign, and kept driving. We were like, it was nice. It was, you know, he's on the same page, so.
So you can tell usually I have words and I don't really have words.
Could we have that list, Scott, of the 75 items that you're talking about, so at least we can start thinking outside of our, maybe then we can.
Yeah, I put it in the chat, but I'm also drafting up an email. And I mean, I don't know how long it took Gary to send an email, but it's hard to put, your thoughts on paper. So I'll definitely have an email out today with it in there, but it's also in the chat of this thread at 9:13.
And we're going to do our best as leaders. I guess, like I said earlier, we may not say the right thing. We will do our best. We definitely need to teach each other how to communicate. We may have disagreements. We hope that our voices show up supportive for all. And I think us just showing up here and acknowledging, hopefully, helps for you guys to know that we are doing the best that we can as leaders. And this time we don't have answers. So we'll look to you for anything. Please do not hesitate to reach out, and we want to hear your voices. So.
Kim, it's Michelle. Can I just end with something here?
Yes, please.
Something I saw on Facebook yesterday, a very close friend. And for those of you that believe in the power of prayer, this is what her post said. I need everybody on my timeline that believes in the power of prayer to please stop what you're doing. Take a minute and post this. We need to flood Facebook with nothing but prayer. Our nation is hurting. Lord, we need you. Please sweep through this nation and heal this land. Restore our strength, renew our minds, and cast out anything that's not of you. In your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Thank you. That was perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to end this call today. And I give you strength and hope, and we love you, and we will keep talking about this. So thank you. That's all we have.
Thanks,
Thank
Kim.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.